Welcome back to Teach Me Homemade. Today I am teaching you how to make another festival and fair favorite, smoked sausage dogs. These are so good. You can't walk around a fair or a festival without smelling one of these. Now we're going to make these 4 different ways. There's lots of ways you can make these smoked sausage dogs. Lots of combinations. Before we get started, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you will not miss any of the new recipes I have to share, especially in this series of festival and fair foods. All right, take a seat right there, grab your paper and your pencil, and let's see what we need for this recipe. Now first, we're going to need some hot dog buns. We're also going to need smoked sausage. Now I have 2 different packages. One kind is Johnsonville, New Orleans style smoked sausage. I also have a package of Hillshire 100% beef smoked sausage. Now we're also going to need some oil. I'm using avocado oil, but just use whatever you have on hand. We're going to need fresh onions, green peppers, sauerkraut, mustard, barbecue sauce. I'm using Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce on this. We will need a jar of Cheese Whiz and some frozen 3-color pepper and onion strips. All right, let's get into this recipe. Now the first thing we're going to do is slice our onions. Now I'm slicing 2 for one pan and 1 for another pan. We're going to slice these into rings. Now that I have them cut, I'm going to separate them into individual rings. I'm going to put these in a bowl and I'm going to set them aside. Next, I'm slicing 2 peppers. I'm going to slice each one into strips. Once I have them cut into strips, I'm cutting those in half. And I'm placing these in a bowl. I have my pan ready and I'm adding about a tablespoon or 2 of my avocado oil. Now use whatever oil you have. And I've got my stove set to medium. Next, I'm going to add in my onions and my peppers to one pan. You can add a little bit more oil if you think it needs it. Now, while these onions are cooking, I'm going to go ahead and put some oil in a pan, and I'm going to work on my peppers and onions that were frozen in a different pan. I'm adding just a little bit of salt on top. We're going to cook these onions until they are transparent and lightly caramelized. These are looking like they're just about finished. And I'm going to set these aside in a bowl. Now for my other skillet, I've got an onion in there, and I've cut that in rings, and then I cut those in half. I've put a tablespoon of oil in there. Now I'm going to cook these down until they are translucent, and I'm going to add in just a little bit of barbecue sauce, and then I'm going to mix that up and let that caramelize just a little bit more. And then I'm going to take those off the stove and I'm going to place them on a plate for when I'm ready to assemble my sausage dogs. I'm going to add just a bit of water just to deglaze my pan. Once the water boils out and they caramelize a little more, and I'm going to take these and I'm going to put them in a bowl until I'm ready to use them. I've got my skillet ready and I'm putting some oil in the pan, probably a tablespoon, and I'm going to take and brush that around. Now in this skillet, I'm using the Hillshire 100% pure beef smoked sausage. Now if you want to cook these on a grill outside, that'll work great, but it happened to be raining at my house. Just turn these over until each side starts browning. We want to make sure we get that caramel color on all sides. Looks like these are just about ready. Now I'm going to work on the other sausage dogs we're making in our other skillet. Now in my other skillet, I'm using Johnsonville, New Orleans smoked sausage. Now I've added some oil to these. We're going to cook these a little bit differently. We want to caramelize all around them, and then I'm going to add in some of that barbecue sauce that we used on our onions. I'm going to use just about a tablespoon. I'm going to add that to the pan. I added in just a little bit of water just to deglaze my pan, and I'm going to let that boil down to caramelize it some more. Looks like my barbecue sauce is good and thick, and I think these are just about ready to come off there. Now I'm getting ready to start assembling my sausage dogs. The last thing we have to do before we start assembling is put a half a cup of Cheese Whiz in a bowl, and we're going to microwave that. You can add just a dab, a little bit of milk if you need to thin it out a little bit. Then we'll have everything ready to start assembling our sausage dogs. Now the first sausage dog I am putting together is one of the barbecue sauce ones, and I'm using some of the barbecued onions on top. For the next one, I'm using mustard and the frozen peppers and onions with one of the barbecue sauce sausage dogs, and on top of that, some tangy sauerkraut. Now another combination, the next one is going to have a regular smoked sausage dog with some mustard. We're going to use those sauteed green peppers and onions. And on top of that, I'm going to place dots of mustard on the top. Now for the last combination, I'm going to take a regular smoked sausage dog, and I'm going to place that in the bun. And on top of that, here is where we're going to add that creamy cheese. These look so good and they smell fabulous right now. I'm going to come back and I'm going to serve these up. Here is our finished, delicious festival smoked sausage dogs, 4 different ways. These are so delicious. The combinations are endless. We have our tangy barbecue smoked sausage with those spicy barbecued onions. Then we have that spicy barbecued smoked sausage with mustard with those red, yellow, and green peppers and that tangy sauerkraut on top. Now our third combination is a regular smoked sausage with mustard and those sauteed green peppers and onions we made. Now our last one is simple with a smoked sausage and that creamy cheddar cheese. One combination you have to try is that creamy cheddar cheese sausage dog topped with sauerkraut. I know what you're thinking, but trust me, it is fantastic together. Both are savory and tangy. There's so many other combinations that we didn't even cover in this one. You've got chili, slaw you could use on top. You can also use fresh onion and mustard on top. So many great combinations. If you find yourself not able to go to your local festival, just make these at home. Again, you can use your grill outside or just make them in a skillet like I did. Believe me, it's going to cost you a whole lot less to make them at home. That's for sure. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. If you try this recipe, let me know in the comments below. If you make a different combination than these, let us know. Stay tuned for more great festival and fair food recipes coming up. Check out some of the other recipes on my channel, especially if you are looking for more festival and fair foods. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. That way, you will be the first to know when I have a new recipe to share. Stay tuned for more delicious homemade recipes. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.